From ghostly encounters to killer clowns and psychotic classmates, here are 4 disturbing true high school horror stories. Number 4. The Ghost in the Bathroom. When you go to the bathroom at school, do you ever wonder who might have died there? What if the ghost of that person is still stuck in the bathroom and he wants you dead? A Reddit user named Beyond the Grave 13 described this haunting encounter with a ghost in the bathroom. I was in 9th grade and the bathrooms were old and kind of scary. There were 2 stalls and 1 sink area, and it was very dimly lit. I had just come out of Mr. Williams' class, which was always very boring, and I needed to go to the bathroom. As I walked in, I heard a noise from inside the stall, and I instantly got scared. I slowly approached the stall and listened more closely. I could hear what sounded like someone crying and making gurgling noises. My curiosity got the best of me, and I opened the door. Inside the stall was the bloodied corpse of a girl in an old Victorian nightgown. I screamed and ran out of the bathroom. When I told my friends about the bathroom ghost, they said that they saw her too. One day after school, we decided to investigate the bathroom. When none of us were willing to go in first, one of my friends wrote down some rules we would follow. First, no one would go into the stall. Second, if any of us saw the ghost, we would not run away or scream. Instead, we would turn around and face her and continue staring until she disappeared. We also agreed that if anyone needed to break the rules, they would have to tell the others afterwards. Armed with these rules, we slowly walked into the bathroom. All 3 of us started scanning the room for the ghost. I looked into the stall and saw nothing but an old mop. Then I noticed that the faucet was dripping onto the floor. I decided to turn it off, and as I reached for the knob, my finger bled. All 3 of us screamed and ran from the bathroom. Afterwards, we never went back into that bathroom again. And the next year they closed it off for renovations, and it's still empty to this day. Number 3. Killer Clown. Clowns are creepy enough when they're real, but what if they're stalking you in your worst nightmare? In the comments of a Reddit post, a user described how he encountered a killer clown during his senior year. Senior year, our school had a big fundraising carnival. The local hospital clown was scheduled to perform, but he canceled last minute. So the school asked if we would volunteer to be clowns for the day. It was hot, sweaty, and uncomfortable, and I was happy when it was over. Later that evening, I was driving home from soccer practice and I noticed a car following me. I thought nothing of it, but as the minutes passed, the car still followed me. Finally, I turned around and the car sped past me, honking its horn and laughing hysterically. It was the same car from earlier. On the other side of the road was a carnival, so I drove home another way only to see the same car parked outside my house. When I went inside, I found my sister dressed up as a clown. She told me that she and her friends had gone to the carnival, but they left before the killer clown showed up. She explained that he had killed several people at the carnival and was now looking for more victims. We both screamed and locked ourselves in a room for the rest of the night. Number 2. The Attic. Sometimes high schools can be haunted places, but what if the ghosts are hiding right under your feet? A user named Not Too Savvy described how he and his friends uncovered a horrifying secret beneath their high school. Our school was built in the 1950s and it was originally a much smaller building. They added on a new wing in the late 70s. At the end of the 70s, there was an addition put on to the original building. This was the library, and on one side was a small set of stairs going to a door in the attic. Nobody ever used these stairs. If you wanted to go into the attic, you had to use the main set of stairs at the opposite end of the building. One day after school, me and my 2 friends decided to sneak into the forbidden attic. We walked into the attic and it smelled like mildew and dust. We found a box filled with old yearbooks from the 1960s. 2 of the yearbooks were from the same girl and they were from 1966 and 1967. We flipped through the book and noticed that all of the pictures were removed. Then we noticed that there were only a few pages in the entire book, and most of them were blank. As we continued flipping through the book, we found some pictures that were torn and glued back together. These were pictures of a young girl holding a teddy bear. The front cover of the book read, "To my sweet angel, rest in peace." On the inside cover was a note written by the school librarian. It read, "To Margaret, may you always find peace and joy in heaven. With love, Mrs. Peabody." After reading this, we ran from the attic. We looked up Margaret's name in the yearbooks and found out that she died in 1968. According to the newspaper clippings, she was only 16 years old. She died in a freak car accident on her way home from school. Her body was found in her family's attic. Apparently, she had hung herself. Number 1. The crazed classmate. School shootings are terrible, but what if the shooter is someone you never expected? After reading this Reddit story, you may never look at your classmate the same way again. This story comes from a Reddit user. When I was in high school, we had a series of school shootings. The first one happened when I was in 10th grade. It was on a Friday afternoon, and students were heading home for the weekend. As we were walking to our cars, we heard several gunshots. Students started running everywhere, hiding in bushes, behind trees, anywhere to hide. I remember sitting on top of a hill by the football field praying that someone would shoot me in the head so I wouldn't have to feel anything. Soon, we were told to run to the nearby middle school where buses would take us home. That's when I saw him. He was standing next to the road waving a handgun and yelling. He shot one student in front of me and then shot another kid in the head while he was hiding in some bushes. He then ran into the woods behind the school. After that horrible day, we were all traumatized. Counselors came to our school to help us cope with what we had seen. Our principal even announced that if any of us knew anything about the shooting, we should tell the police. But nobody knew anything. At least that's what they thought. 5 years later, I was at college and I saw a news report about the shooting. They finally caught the shooter, and it was the last person I would have suspected. It was my friend who had tried to hide. That day, I still get sick to my stomach thinking about it. But I know that he didn't make it. His mother called me crying, asking if I had seen her son that day. She hadn't heard from him, and she was worried. I remember telling her that I had seen him and that he was fine. Little did I know that he had already taken his own life. I feel horrible knowing that he'd been dead the whole time and I didn't know it. I wish I had told his mom that day. I don't know why I kept his secret. I guess I was scared. But the worst part is that he had planned the attack for weeks, but no one knew. He was an honor roll student and everyone liked him. But underneath it all, he was planning his revenge. He waited until his birthday, April Fool's Day, to carry out his plan. He knew that everyone would think that he was joking. He wanted to be the biggest mass murderer in school history. Do you believe these terrifying high school horror stories? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos like this one, stay tuned. Thanks for watching.